It has begun, everybody. El Salvador is moving 2,000 gang members to the new largest prison in America. Yes, you heard that right. El Salvador is getting all these gang members in the new prison because, of course, they have been fighting the gang members for the last year, for the last 10 months, and it looks like El Salvador, the El Salvador government is winning this war. So, well, a little bit of the story of these guys, because I know that a lot of people are gonna be complaining. I know a lot of people are gonna be saying, "Oh, poor people, poor children, poor guys, look at them, look at their face, how calm, why would they be treating them like that?" Well, let me tell you a little bit of the story and how everything began. That was 40 years ago in the 80s, when, of course, the guerrillas were fighting the El Salvador government. There was a civil war, and then, of course, the population that was affected, they fled El Salvador, and many people, that was about 2 million people that fled El Salvador, came to the United States. And then they came to California, which is probably one of the biggest Spanish speaker states here in the US. And then, of course, these guys came to the poorest, to the poorest communities in California, and they found other, many gangs, Mexican gangs, Afro-American gangs, and then they made their own gang, like they created their own MS-13 gang, and many of these guys joined the 18th Street gang, that at that point it was a Mexican gang. And then eventually what happens was that the U.S. government is like, why are we dealing with these guys? We have to send them back. So they get a few. I mean, they weren't too many. There is over 70,000 gang members now in El Salvador, but by then it might have been a couple thousands. And then they were sent back to El Salvador in the 90s. And then, of course, in the 90s, the country was still beat up yet from a civil war that lasted about 20 years. And then, of course, it was the perfect place for these new gang members, with the new culture coming into the country, looking cool with all those tattoos and all those haircuts and all that kind of stuff, right? So it was the perfect formula for them because, of course, the police wasn't that strong at that point. They didn't even know how to deal with that kind of stuff at that point. And then, of course, they began recruiting new members, and it was really easy because, of course, children did like it because it was nice. They did promise a lot of stuff to these children who didn't even have a family, many of them, and they promised to be their family. So eventually, of course, they began growing little by little, and it wasn't a problem until the 2000s, when it was like a decade later. So when they grew up so big, and then they needed to get some sort of income, so they began actually renting. That's what they call la renta, which is a way to go to a small store and they will ask for money every month, security money, that if they don't pay it, then they get killed. And of course, they will do it. A lot of people who will not do it, they will do it. And you are talking to somebody right here that has been and was in El Salvador for 30 years and that escaped El Salvador because of that. So Basically, these guys are pure evil in earth. These are the pure evil in earth. That's the only thing I can say, because they will do basically any whatever, whatever they will. If you look at if you look at them in a bad way, they will kill you. If you didn't pay the 30-40 bucks every month, they will kill you. Of course, the money over there is definitely, you make a lot of less money over there. So 30 bucks, $30 will be as like if you say 300 bucks here in the United States. So it's a lot of money over there, even for a business owner. So it will be a lot of money. And then I personally lost a lot of friends and family members due to these gang members. So we're basically looking here pure evil in earth. And what happens later is that the that was the parties, FMLN and Arena, left and right. They found that these guys had a lot of control on the territories in these communities, and then they started dealing with them, like making deals with them under the table, so they would be able to get more votes, for the elections. That's how nasty things got over there. When these politicians get into this kind of stuff, that's the really nasty stuff. And of course, these guys, there were like some sort of negotiation as well in 2013, where they were demanding a lot of stuff from the government, and then of course the government was saying yes to everything, because they were basically part of the deal. The things were basically happening due to them. So basically you have about 50-60,000 gang members now, and then there is 30 people dying every day in a country which is the size of Massachusetts, the size of Massachusetts, with about 7 million people, and then you have 30 people dying every day. I mean, it was the most dangerous place in the world. It was the most dangerous place in the world to be. So when President Bukele comes along, he hates the way these politicians have been doing politics with, all these years. And of course, he hates the idea that a Salvadorian has to die. 30 Salvadorians have to die every day. So he loved his country so much that he says, I don't want any person to die because of these gang members. These guys, if you had a daughter, they will walk in your place, kidnap your daughter, and you will never see her again. That's how dangerous these guys were. That's how nasty these guys were. And if somebody didn't want to join their gang, and then of course they will actually make them disappear as well. And of course, if you went to, let's say you live in one community, and then that was controlled by the 18th Street gang, and now you are going to the MS-13 gang territory, of course they will make you disappear as well. And that's why you will see a lot of people, a lot of family members, that they will never see each other because of the gang members. So President Bukele decides to go right to war with them. Like, I'm gonna actually get twice as much soldiers on the streets. We're gonna double the army. We're gonna double the police force, and we're gonna get them the latest technology. We're gonna get them the latest equipment, and we're gonna just get these guys. And right after that, he just started capturing all these guys. So there's over 60,000 gang members right now in prison, and they think that they are very close already to get them all out of the streets. So he began this huge prison, in which is amazing. I mean, to see this prison and knowing that these guys are not gonna come out anymore, because basically before it was like the police will get them and 3 days later they will be out on the streets again. But now it's not like that anymore, which is very, very good for the entire population. And basically El Salvador now is becoming one of the most visited countries now in the world, because these gang members aren't on the streets anymore. It's a beautiful country, beautiful language, but these guys were just ruining the whole place. So in this case, we're super happy, we're super excited that these guys are getting in their new home now. So leave your comments. We are here to make more videos in the future. And do not forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye.